everyone, I'm Catherine.
Hi, I'm Courtney.
We're with Free Tours by Foot. Today we are going to be going on a little food tour of the Lower East Side, so hopefully you are hungry. So we're about to eat a lot.
Let's do it.
All right, so today we're going to walk you to some of the spots that we take people on our Pay What You Wish tours of the Lower East Side. So this is a great neighborhood. It's full of history, and some of the foods that we take people to try on this tour reflect some of that history. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, so the first place we are heading is Yonashimals. Yonashimals is a knishery, which is a little bit of a mouthful to say if you've never tried it before. But this is actually, you were saying this is the last knishery in New York City.
Yeah, knisheries had started when a large population of Eastern European Jews from Russia, Poland, Romania came over to the States, settled here in the late 1880s, brought over with them recipes, and Yonashimals could tell a story of his life.
Yes, so this is an older place in the neighborhood. It's been around a long time. Outside the door it says 1910 is when they were established. That's actually only when the store was established. Yonashimals got here in 1890, but like many people at the time who were newly arrived immigrants, he couldn't get a storefront right away. That was a big leap if you were starting a food business. So he and many other people started a pushcart business. There were pushcart peddlers all over this neighborhood, and that's really how you started your business a lot of the time.
Well, in fact, Yonashimals had a little bit more complication. He had been a learned rabbi in Romania. He was trained, came over here thinking it's a huge Jewish population in the Lower East Side. I'm going to get a job, no problem. They need rabbis. Now, too many rabbis. So,
Knish!
Luckily, his wife happened to have a great recipe for Knish. He worked his way up, like you said. The shop's here now, and it's probably one of the only remaining true knisheries in the city. Most have not survived over the decades. They're still here and going.
And you will see Knish sold in other parts of the city. Actually, sometimes you'll see something off of hot dog carts in Midtown called a Knish. Not the same thing. Yeah. Not nearly the same thing.
They're not bad if you need a quick snack.
Sure.
They're square, they're not hand-baked like here, but this is the real thing.
Do yourself a favor and come down and try the real thing. So we are here with our Knish. It is out of the bag. This is just a plain potato Knish, but there are a lot of different options when you go in there. There's like potato and broccoli, potato and spinach, potato and mushroom, which is one of my favorites.
There is a jalapeno
they get
Knish.
little.
I feel that's like almost a little sacrilegious, but go for it if it's your thing.
If
They're
that's
still
what you're
really
into,
good.
that's cool. But more classic flavors are going to be either the potato or the kasha. But this. So if you've never seen the inside of one of these before, you can see it is really mostly just potato. I am holding this and it weighs an absolute ton. That's how you know a Knish is good, is if it has a lot of weight to it. It looks like a lot of bread when you look at a Knish before you bite into it. It looks like an enormous amount of bread. It's not. It's really all about the filling. This is just here to hold all of this in.
Yeah, otherwise you'd be eating sort of a handful of what's similar to mashed potatoes. Yeah. And what's great is like they're so simply seasoned, but taste so good.
Perfect.
It's just maybe some salt, pepper, maybe a little onion.
Yeah.
And that's all you need. Although I see you're putting mustard on them.
I love
it's
mustard.
Pretty classic.
I love mustard on a Knish.
I'm traditional. I'll just eat the whole Knish with nothing on it. Maybe just to describe a kasha Knish, which you might want to try at your own risk. So kasha it's a Bulgar wheat that originated again in Eastern European Jewish communities and other Eastern Europeans and Russian communities as sort of a staple of their diet. Now, it's a very dry grain. So when you get a kasha Knish, it's going to be like a really big mouthful of dryness, but it's also can be very moist at the same time. And kasha Knish among older New Yorkers, we're talking about people who are 70, 80 years old, when I go to Florida to visit my relatives, I get orders to fly down kasha Knish from Yonashimals. So that's just how good they are, and you should give it a try.
Yeah, it's worth trying, definitely. So we are heading now over to North Dumpling. This is a stop on the tour. When I tell people we're coming here, I think sometimes they're like a little bit surprised. People think of the Lower East Side, they think of this historically Eastern European Jewish neighborhood and say, like, why are we going to a dumpling place? But the reality is when you're walking in the Lower East Side these days, especially if you're in this part of the Lower East Side, you're gonna see a lot of Chinese places, and that's because Chinatown, which was historically centered like south and west of here, has really grown in recent years, and so it's really started to spread out into this area.
Yeah, the population is overflowing in the past maybe 5 to 10 years. That not only has it moved east into the Lower East Side, but if you go to Little Italy, you're actually going to see more Chinese shops than Italian shops in Little Italy.
So even though this is called North Dumpling, and obviously they are best known for dumplings, I actually got a couple of different things here. So these are their steamed vegetable dumplings. They are absolutely delicious. Sometimes when you get vegetable dumplings places, they just like put some cabbage inside a dumpling wrapper and then give it to you. These have a lot of flavor. They actually have a nice like ginger taste to them.
Oh, nice.
They're really, really good. They are definitely probably best known. One of their most popular things here is their pan-fried pork and chive dumplings. But they have vegetable dumplings, pork and chive. They have some soups and noodles and some chive pancakes that we will talk about in just a second. But
They're very cheap.
They are. This is the best deal in town if you are looking for lunch. So, veggie dumpling here. Oh, that wasn't graceful. Oh, it's delicious. So this is one of the other things that I always recommend people get here. Again, people always gravitate towards the dumplings, and they should. They're delicious. This is a chive pancake. So I'm going to hand this to you. Grab that one right off the top.
All right.
All right, first timer. So this is stuff. It has chives, obviously, in it, and little clear noodles. And so the pancake is actually all around on the outside. You have all of this stuffed in here, and it is one of my favorite things.
And I think they put a bunch in here.
They did. We have 4. So 4 for the bargain price of, I think, $5 or something. Heading over to the Pickle Guys. Pickles have been a big part of this neighborhood for a long time. They were really popular initially as a pushcart business, then there started to be pickle storefronts in the area. This is, I believe, the last pickle business on the Lower East Side. So there's a variety of pickles that you can get here, and they may be a little bit different than what you're used to. A lot of people are used to pickles that are made in vinegar. These are brine pickles, water, salt, garlic, and a blend of pickling spices. The cucumbers in the brine, how long you leave them in determines, what kind of pickle you end up with. So you can get everything here from a new pickle that's been in brine like 1 to 3 days, all the way up to a full sour pickle that's been in brine for 3 months. In between, you've got a half sour that's been in for a couple weeks, 3/4 sour. They have horseradish pickles, and not just pickled cucumbers. They have a lot of other things here as well.
Some of the great items that you wouldn't expect from a pickle shop. They have sort of a pickled pieces of pineapple with crushed red pepper, so they have a bit of a bite to them. Definitely recommend those. I will say for my favorite pickle, I like the half sour, which still retains some crunchiness, but I know you go for the full.
I think it's a personal
flavor.
preference. I think actually a lot of people like the half sour. I think when I bring in guests on tours, if they're not familiar, haven't been here before, I think they usually tell them, get a half sour. That's probably going to be what everybody likes. But yeah, I love the full sour.
You really can't go wrong. They have so many here.
So I am back out with my pickle of choice, which is a spicy full sour pickle. So this is one that has been in brine for the full 3 months, but also has some red pepper added to it. I think it's delicious. It is not for the faint of heart. It is very spicy, and it is also very sour. But then we have over here at the table, we have some of the pickled pineapple as well.
I'm totally busted. You caught me. I'm getting a head start.
This is actually, I know it sounds a little bit weird. I think it's one of my favorite things that they have here, though. It's got like clove and red pepper, and it's just like this amazing spicy, sweet, sour.
Yeah, it's
all
just,
at the same
really,
time.
It's really tender, it's juicy, and it's not a big bite, but it's unusual. You really wouldn't find something like this anywhere else.
No.
And it's a really nice alternative
Yeah.
to pickles, or both.
Some people really aren't into, traditional pickled cucumbers. I have to say, almost anybody I have ever convinced to try this has loved it.
Absolutely.
So we are heading over to the donut plant. We are going to get a couple of their famous creme brulee donuts. Even though creme brulee is, I think, what they're best known for, my personal favorite is the peanut butter and banana cream square filled donut. That's
this is where I'm going to dispute with you. My favorite is also the peanut butter coating, but I like with the fresh blackberry jam. They also have unusual seasonal donuts.
Yes.
They do two kinds of donuts. One is a cake donut. It's a little bit more dense, like you would expect a cake, and a yeast donut, which are fluffier. And the donuts are square with a hole, but
they say with the square shape, you get more filling, or you are more likely to get filling in every bite, which I do think is very important. Whatever they're doing, it's working out. So this is the famous creme brulee donut. So they call this kind a dough seed donut. And they actually have several, not just creme brulee, that are this size and shape. So when you see these dough seed donuts, they are filled on the inside. I think every single dough seed is filled on the inside.
Definitely.
But you can see the caramelized sugar on top. So just like if you ordered creme brulee in a restaurant, it's the exact same kind of crunchy caramelized sugar coating here. And then the custard that's on the inside of this donut. I guess I'll have to bite into it so you can see it. Oh darn!
Yeah, don't spend $8 for a creme brulee at a fancy restaurant when you can come here and get a dough seed.
There we go.
All right, I've got to eat one now. Oh my god!
Yeah, they are amazing. If you like creme brulee, you will love this donut. Sorry, they're very sticky.
It's worth it.
Every donut here is worth it. So we are now heading to Kossar's. We are going to go check out Kossar's and get some Bialys. So if you are not from this area, you maybe don't know what a Bialy is.
Well, in fact, Bialys came from Eastern Europe, sort of around like the late 1800s, when there was a large population of Eastern European Jews, Russian Jews, coming to America, and they brought some of their recipes with them, including Bialys, named for the town in Poland, Bialystok.
So if you haven't had one before, I think get lumped in with bagels quite often, and
They're the cousin of bagels.
They're the cousin of the bagel. But there are some very crucial differences, and we'll talk about those in just a minute. So we are here with our Bialys. We actually got two different things. Well, not two different things, but Bialys two ways, we'll say. So I got mine with cream cheese, with schmear. So actually, this is not even plain cream cheese. This is fantastic, and it's why I can't resist getting something on my Bialy. They have everything cream cheese, which is all of the toppings from an everything bagel mixed into a cream cheese, and it's glorious.
What I got is just plain and simple, a Bialy with nothing on it but what's inside. So the Bialy is different, as you're talking about, sort of the cousin of the bagel, although I have to say it should be given its own title in the world.
I agree.
And just not be affiliated with the bagel, because they're different. So bagels, you might know, they're hand rolled, they're boiled and then baked. Bialys are hand rolled and they go right into the oven. There is no hole through like a bagel, but this is sort of a dimple or indent, and they're filled with a couple of different things. You got what?
I got
puppy?
garlic. Garlic, but you got onion, yeah?
I always get onion, and here's why. When they bake, the onions become sort of caramelized and sweet. And when you walk in the store and you smell them baking, you just have to get one. And they're so good you can eat them plain. One thing I would point out is, unlike bagels, they are a little bit chewier. So they're almost like a consistency of a sourdough. They don't taste anything like a sourdough, but you're going to have to put a little bit of work.
Yeah.
To take
You have to like work your jaw muscle a little bit.
It's good. The chewier, the better. And just dig in.
They're amazing. They do have bagels here. They have some other stuff here as well. They have regular bagels. They have babka, which their babka is really, really good.
That was our babka.
You can't beat a babka.
We had that babka.
I think there's some right behind me. Definitely worth a try. But if you have never had a Bialy before and you are coming to Kossar's, you got to try a Bialy. Absolutely. So we are at Sugar Sweet Sunshine Bakery. Fantastic, kind of tucked into the middle of the block here, so it's easy to miss, but you don't want to. So this bakery was started by two friends, two women, opened this up together. And they are really best known for their cupcakes, but they also have very popular puddings as well, which is what I have in here. I will show it to you in just a minute. So there's a nice variety of flavors here. I think this is this these? I always mix these up. Is this the sassy or the sexy red velvet?
This is the sassy red velvet.
Okay, so sassy red velvet is apparently a red velvet cupcake with chocolate icing, whereas a sexy red velvet is red velvet with a cream cheese frosting. Either way you go, it's great. They have pistachio cupcakes, they have German chocolate, they have lemon, they have classic, yellow cake with buttercream.
They have vegan cupcakes
They
well,
do.
which are extremely good.
Yes. So it's nice to have a nice bakery with vegan options. There are some in New York if you know where to look, but it's always good to point out where you find them. So I said I got pudding, and I know that doesn't sound nearly as exciting as a cupcake. Why would you get pudding when you could get a cupcake? But their puddings here are pretty fantastic. I think they're really more like a trifle than like a pudding. They have bits of like cake and cream and things all swirled in. So here, it really probably doesn't even look that appetizing, but it is delicious. Here, let me see if I can get a bite so you can see how much stuff's in here.
It's also a really nice size. So at this
Yes.
point on a food tour, you might be pretty stuffed.
It might be
but
full.
That's a great option.
This is called the teaser size, so this is a to-go espresso cup.
It's also a lot easier to eat without making a big mess.
Yes.
As I take a bite.
No, it's gonna be fine. You're gonna be good.
Okay, ready. And that's what a red velvet looks like.